I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring him in when it comes to all films, the Marvel movies, the DC universe, some weird indie film that looks like it was scripted and produced by a bunch of guys who were baked. You've got the subtitles, some obscure Korean offering. He sees it all. I don't know how he does it. Put it together for a man who comes and goes on a rainbow. He's the delightful culture blaster, Michael Snyder, everyone.
Woo! It's Friday the 13th, and shockingly, no new horror movies are being released this weekend.
That's amazing.
What? On the other hand, we have the totally scary sight of Homeland Security doyen Kristi Noem threatening to terrorize Los Angeles and the state of California with unbridled troops to crush dissent. And, there's a well-known grindcore movie called Ilsa, She-Wolf of the SS, about a villainous female Nazi officer with perverse tastes. And now we have Ilsa, She-Bimbo of the Ice Ice, telling us we are subject to her whims. Still, we have to steel ourselves for this weekend's inevitable clash in Los Angeles. And I'm not talking about the No Kings rallies. I'm talking Giants versus Dodgers. Vying for first place in the National League West. It's all going down starting tonight at what we Giants backers like to call Chavez Latrine. And I would advise any Giants fan in attendance to wear their riot gear. On the other hand, if you're in L.A., and we are, you know that the jacaranda is in bloom, and those purple bluish flowers on tree after tree are pretty glorious, and not quite the calla lilies, but better on the color spectrum. And I do this by way of sweetening the mood because we got to talk about new movies.
I love it. Morning. Yeah, let's get it on.
Okay, coincidentally or not, DreamWorks' new movie, How to Train Your Dragon, is being released just a couple weeks after the less than satisfying live-action CGI mix that was the remake of the Disney animated classic Lilo and Stitch. An energetic adventure film for the entire family, How to Train Your Dragon is also a live-action CGI remake of an animated classic, the 2010 DreamWorks hit about a Viking teen named Hiccup. Is that a traditional Viking name, by the way?
I've never heard it before as a Viking name. But...
Well, Hiccup tames a purportedly fearsome dragon.
Purportedly is a ding word.
The new Lilo and Stitch is kind of entertaining enough. It's doing great box office, but the new How to Train Your Dragon does a better job of adding flesh and blood humans to its fanciful story, and it does so by hewing closely to the beats of the original. So,
hewing is a ding word.
The reserved Hiccup, played by Mason Thames, is a would-be inventor and a real disappointment to his father, mighty warrior chief Stroik. And he's played by Gerard Butler, who voiced Stroik in the 2010 cartoon as well, and other How to Train Your Dragon spin-offs. Stroik is the leader of a Viking enclave that has done battle with a horde of dragons for many years, and that apparently endless conflict is turned inside out when Hiccup befriends the dragon that he names Toothless and learns crucial things about the dragons that change his life and may forever alter the relationship between the longtime enemies, the Vikings, and the dragons. This retelling of How to Train Your Dragon goes for more expansive visual spectacle. It's all video, but it's visual. More expansive than the 2010 version, and it certainly helps that the first iteration of the story was 3D style computer animated, unlike the original Lilo Stitch, which was more like hand-drawn 2D. So the transition from the initial dragon to this new one is visually seamless. Plus, Dean DeBlois, director of the original How to Train Your Dragon, is the director of the remake. And
that's cool.
He knows and honors the material.
When was the first one, the original?
2010.
Okay, sorry.
I guess they figured it was long enough to go to the well again.
Well, as you say, they can improve in so many ways on other visual aspects of it.
And again, seamless. The characters, the world, and the message of tolerance and respect are honored here. By the way, supporting players include Nico Parker as the plucky Astrid, who's the most accomplished teenage Viking warrior in training until Hiccup starts coming into his own, and Nick Frost of all those great Edgar Wright comedies with Simon Pegg. He plays the somewhat goofy master of arms Gobber, who serves as Hiccup's mentor. By the way, we like to do this. Nepo baby alert. Parker, who was recently in HBO's The Last of Us, is the daughter of actress Thandiwe Newton and director Ollie Parker, but she's quite good. So it's not just one of those, legacy situations. If you like cheerful fantasy and haven't seen the original How to Train Your Dragon, you will definitely enjoy this. And if you've seen the original, you may think this is more commercially exploitive IP done by the suits, but at least it's done well.
And let me just, so I didn't see the original, so you think I might actually really enjoy this?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to watch.
And I like something uplifting, Michael.
And it's fun. It's for the whole family, so if you can get your brain in...
I need to get a family to go with.
Well, no, get your brain in prepubescent mode. You will. No, it's actually a little more sophisticated than that. I thought it was well done. Again, though, product. Oh, speaking of Nepo babies.
It's in theaters now.
It is. Materialists is the second movie from screenwriter-director Celine Song, whose award-winning debut feature, Past Lives, marked her as a filmmaker to watch. And although it doesn't feel like blatant Oscar bait, Materialists does try to do something canny. It seems to be Song's attempt to recalibrate, reinvent, or undermine what we commonly think of as a romantic comedy by salting in dramatic elements. And here she's telling the story of a high-end matchmaker in New York City whose own love life is on hold due to her desire to find a unicorn, a wealthy and handsome partner, and her refusal to settle. So in a very savvy bit of casting, here's where the legacy situation comes into play. Dakota Johnson, that's right, daughter of Don Johnson and Melanie Griffith, and a better actor than either of them, was tapped to play the sophisticated Lucy, whose success at finding mates for others doesn't mean she's going to be that fortunate. So Johnson can project elegance or earthiness, which is kind of helpful here. She looks great in jeans or haute couture, and thus it assists her in embodying Lucy, who is a woman from a working class background who has tried to leave all that behind, all of her financially challenged years, plus the struggling actor she loved with all her heart but dumped because of his questionable prospects. So Lucy thinks she's found the unicorn, a man of means played by the seemingly omnipresent Pedro Pascal. That's right, the Mandalorian, the star of The Last of Us, soon to be in Fantastic Four. He's everywhere, and he's here. He plays this guy. But Lucy's ex, who is, by the way, played to a T by Chris Captain America Evans himself, re-enters her life and complications ensue. So when given the right material and director, Johnson shines. That was the case with her performance in Luca Guadagnino's A Bigger Splash, and with her two-hander with Sean Penn, Daddy-O. She's great. And she shines here too, as does Evans, because he brings real feels to his part. I found Materialists to be smart, thoughtful, witty, manipulative, and charming, kind of like its ambitious protagonist. Johnson really owns the role of Lucy, and her scenes with Evans are frighteningly spot on and all too familiar to anybody who's experienced the push and pull battle between love and expediency. So Materialists is further proof that when it comes to making movies that can move you, Song sings. Materialists is in theaters.
I got the Song sings thing.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, let's get to something that you can watch online in the streaming land, graced by a notable cast led by Bryce Dallas Howard, Orlando Bloom, and Nick Mohammed. You may remember Nick Mohammed from the wonderful Ted Lasso series.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So they're in Deep Cover. It's Deep Cover, a sneaky, funny crime comedy about three improv actors who are coerced by a scheming police detective.
I love it already.
Into going undercover in the London underworld to take down a crew of drug dealers.
Okay.
So I know the concept is really pretty funny, and
it's terrific.
They execute it pretty well.
Okay, it's called Deep Cover.
Right.
Okay.
So Howard is Kat, an American actress whose career never went anywhere. So she's teaching improvisational comedy. What do they say? Those who can do, those who can't teach. Anyway, Bloom and Mohammed play two of her students, Bloom being a method actor named Marlon, that's right, as in Brando, whose own career is stuck at the less than satisfying juncture of failed auditions for commercials, and Mohammed being an office drone whose terrible social skills inspire him to loosen up by studying improv. the swaggering Sean Bean is the cop who recruits them into impersonating bad guys to get next to a mobster played by no less than Patty Considine. So good as a member of the Harrington crime family in the current smash of a TV series, Mobland. And the big boss that everyone fears is played by Ian McShane of HBO's Deadwood and Game of Thrones and the John Wick movies. He's Winston, manager of the Continental Hotel for Assassins in John Wick. So Deep Cover is directed by Tom Kingsley and co-written by San Francisco native Colin Trevorrow, who has scripted installments of the Jurassic World movie franchise, and he also directed the cool indie sci-fi comedy Safety Not Guaranteed. You know, concept, execution, I really enjoyed Deep Cover, and I bet the cast and crew had a blast making it. It's not one for the archives, right?
I see.
But it was a hell of a lot of fun to watch, and it is on Amazon Prime Video, so you can just tune right in.
It seems like a really fun premise. Yeah, that's for sure.
And it was executed, well executed, I thought. Okay, quickly, following on the heels of Alex Baldwin's controversial Rust, The Unholy Trinity is another small-scale Western featuring some stars, in this case, slumming amid the sagebrush in 1970s Montana. And it's Pierce Brosnan, so good, by the way, in Mobland right now, and Samuel L. Jackson, the Samuel L. Jackson, supported by David Arquette, Tim Daly, and even young Mr. Spock from Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Ethan Peck. Oh, another Nepo. He is, of course, Gregory Peck's grandson.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, this is dusty stuff and more than just the preponderance of a gritty dirt one finds on the plains. Been here, rode that range. But the concept is that a young fellow witnesses his father being hung for a crime that he maybe didn't commit, and he is sent to a small town where he's supposed to find the people that really did this criminal activity and get revenge for his father. And the boy, Henry, finds himself under the protection of the sheriff of that town, played by Pierce Brosnan. Henry he's a solid character here, and he's performed by a guy named Brandon Lessard, who keeps up with the big boys. And Samuel L. Jackson is a guy named St. Christopher, a mysterious figure who knows about some hidden gold and wants to dig it up. You know, we've been here before, and this is okay. It's in theaters, but, you know, it's not anything that I'm going to praise to the rooftops. Directed by Richard Gray, written by Lee Zachariah. It's all right. It's called The Unholy Trinity, and if this is your jam, yeah, feel free to check it out. But again, it's no great shakes. And let's wrap up the movie section of today's Chit Chat with Echo Valley, which stars Julianne Moore, always good, as a later-in-life lesbian and horse rancher named Kate, who lost her wife in a tragic accident on the farm, and she continues to have to deal with her drug-addicted daughter, Claire, played by, are you ready? Sydney Sweeney, in a serious role that forces her to stretch and do some, heavy dramatic work opposite the great Julianne Moore, and she keeps up with Moore in this thing. So the drug-addicted daughter comes from Kate's first marriage to a well-to-do businessman played by Kyle MacLachlan. This is really an interesting cast, and it also features the renowned British character actress Fiona Shaw as Kate's best friend and fellow member of the Sisterhood of Sappho, if you will, and Donald Gleason, whoa, Nepo baby alert, of the Gleason acting family from Ireland, an acting clan, if you will, playing Claire's fearsome drug dealer and kind of looking like we've never seen him before. He's pretty damn good. So if you want to watch really good actors in action in a soapy and somewhat predictable drama, mystery, thriller, which has a terrific third act. Oftentimes, third acts are like crummy. This is actually pretty good. It's called Echo Valley.
And where can I see Echo Valley?
It is in theaters and now streaming on Apple TV+.
Wow, that's cool.
It's not great. Like The Unholy Trinity, it's hard for me to just say, woohoo, check this out, you're going to love it. But it's solid. Again, the Michael Snyder two-word criticism, not terrible. That's the best I can say about it.
Yeah, okay.
So a quick note on television shows that I'm enamored of. Department Q on Netflix.
People are asking if Donald Gleason's related to Jackie Gleason.
Not at all. It's two E's, not an EA. Come on.
Come on.
And
kids.
away we go. That's for all your older kids.
Yeah.
Department Q on Netflix rocks. This is the the brainchild of Scott Frank, who created and oversaw Monsieur Spade, which I absolutely loved, which is a kind of an extension of the Sam Spade character we know from the Maltese
Oh, of
faction.
course. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
great miniseries.
That was dark, though, that wasn't it? The
Yeah,
Monsieur Spade was dark.
but excellent.
Is Department Q also dark?
In its way. This guy, by the way, also created, are you ready for this? The Queen's Gambit. This guy is a solid screenwriter.
Wow.
He did Logan, Minority Report, Out of Sight. Department Q stars Matthew Good as a kind of problematic cop who nearly dies in an ambush and is kind of compelled to be in charge of a new police department at the Edinburgh Police Force, where he goes into cold cases and digs them up. And he finds one that is kind of a can of worms that ends up impacting the local government, the actual police force,
Corruption, huh, Michael?
There's a
Am I
measure,
right?
there's a
I'm
measure
guessing
of it.
corruption. Yep.
Great supporting work, by the way, by the lovely Kelly MacDonald from Old Country, No Country for Old Men, and Train Spotting, and Gosford Park, and anyway, she was in Boardwalk Empire. Kelly MacDonald, great. The cast itself across the board is pretty terrific. I really enjoyed Department Q. It's a self-contained story that leaves space for maybe continuance if the people react to this in a positive way. It's on Netflix. I really, really liked it.
Wow. How about that?
And I do also want to say, because I have been asked by various Mark Thompson show audience members to bring this up, Duster is available on HBO Max. And it's okay. Imagine if author Elmore Leonard and filmmaker Quentin Tarantino teamed up
Wow.
on a project. It might be Duster, which is a wry crime TV series set in the American Southwest, mostly Phoenix, Arizona, during the 1970s, with Josh Holloway from Lost as Jim Ellis, a laconic but charming getaway driver for a local mobster who has big plans. And our anti-hero Jim finds himself in a sticky situation when he's reluctantly recruited by a novice FBI agent, a black woman with an afro and a grudge, to take down the mobster. J.J. Abrams produced this
She's a
thing.
black woman with an afro and a grudge.
The needle drops from the era are fantastic. I'm really enjoying Duster on HBO Max.
I love this report. It felt very complete. I feel sated. Duster is the offering that Michael recommends on HBO Max with the kind of pedigree. Josh Holloway from Lost. It's a crime TV series with a great bite. He likes it. Department Q from Scott Frank, who did Monsieur Spade. Also Queen's Gambit and Logan, Minority Report. Great pedigree here, too.
Yep.
Department Q is a cop kind of thing. Cop nearly dies in an ambush, works on cold cases, and he discovers a cold case, multi-layered, that may involve the government, may involve a lot of different tentacles that extend to all the very corners of our story.
Yes, indeed.
Kelly MacDonald is one of the stars, and Netflix is where you can see it.
Indeed.
Now to the theaters. The magic of what's going on in the dark. That was Department Q. That's right. This is Echo Valley. Julianne Moore plays Kate. Sydney Sweeney plays the daughter, drug addicted. First husband, Kyle MacLachlan. Donald Gleason is in this. He likes it. Doesn't adore it.
No.
Likes it, though.
It was fun to watch.
It's in theaters, but if you can't organize a theater trip, it is also streaming.
On Apple TV Plus.
Apple TV Plus. Echo Valley is what that's called. The Unholy Trinity. It's the small-scale Western, sort of the sort that was much advertised around the accident that Alec Baldwin was in.
Sort of like Rust, yeah.
Yeah. The Pierce Brosnan, Samuel L. Jackson number is also something that he likes, doesn't love. Brandon Lassard is in it. Ethan Peck, the grandson of Gregory Peck.
your beloved Mr. Spock on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, coming back for a new season in a couple of weeks.
You'll find them all in the unholy trinity. Again, it's in theaters. He doesn't love it, but he likes it with a small L.
It was okay, you know.
Deep Cover is the one that I just love the premise of. I adore this premise. It's streaming. Bryce Dallas Howard, Nick Mohammed, Orlando Bloom, the villain played by Ian McShane. How could it go wrong, Michael? How could it go wrong?
It didn't for me. It sure didn't.
Why are you yelling?
It's an undercover drug deal that they have recruited these improv actors to be part of. It's a
Ooh, it's a wild idea.
Wait,
Just
Mark.
I like it.
Give me a premise. No.
I think it could. This is one I am going to see, but I'll have to go to the theater to do it.
No, it's Amazon.
Oh, that's
Prime.
right. We said streaming was the first thing I said. Actually, yeah, Amazon Prime. Sorry. I misspoke, and I stand corrected.
I stand corrected.
Materialists is the Celine Song directed offering. It's a reimagined romantic comedy. High-end matchmaker in New York, is it?
Indeed.
Dakota Johnson plays the matchmaker. Pedro Pascal is in it. Chris Evans is in it.
Wonderful.
And Michael says, like a great band, when they are playing a great song, they're great, meaning parts of the script are so good that Michael was very enthusiastic about it. But parts of the script also, I got the impression, a little softer, maybe not as enthused about those, but overall you felt it was good material.
Oh, no, I thought it was good and really worth seeing. I think Celine Song is a real talent, and I love Past Lives. Maybe this isn't up to that, but Materialists is, again, I got to say, it's smart. It's, you know, it's witty. It's charming. I
So
really
you
enjoyed
liked it?
I did.
All right, I'm sorry. I may have somehow diminished your enthusiasm for this in my recapitulation of what you said.
Hey, you know, these Nepo baby projects make you kind of look twice sometimes. But
Well, I don't think you should be so tough on them, Michael. Nepos need work too.
they do.
Materialist, again, is its name, and you can find it in theaters. How to Train Your Dragon was the first film that he reviewed. It's a remake from the 2010 offering, and he says now in the magic of technology that has sort of enabled so much more, you've got a really fun, good movie being directed by the guy who directed the first movie, the original movie. So a great family film. And for those who are looking for a fun experience, you like it. It's in theaters.
Yeah, more than a Xerox of the original, but it does hew closely to all the elements that made the original great.
Wow. This is true. Sam Jackson looks like his character in The Hateful Eight in this kind of... That was the Western thing.
There had to have been a golf course near where they shot this thing for Sam to do it, I think. You know, he
Thank
loves
you for Rev P. I agree with that.
He
I'm
loves
going
the
to
golf.
excuse the witness, Kim, unless you have a question of any kind or a comment.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Kim is prepping for the after party.
Yeah,
she
she's
can't
so
be
checked
worried
out.
about
I
that.
mean,
checked out
come
about
on.
35 minutes ago. It's so fun to watch her just trying to check out.
Actually, I was really excited about what he had to say about the materialistic movie.
Yeah, I think you're going to love Materialist. Of all the films we discussed today, that's the one where I would direct you, Kim.
All right. You've been directed, Kim.
So I was paying attention.
Yes, you were.
Yes.
All right. I'm
sort of.
sorry. I cast an aspersion.
I blame you.
But even Michael felt that you might have checked out.
Yeah,
so.
but don't denigrate Kim.
yeah.
She's our queen.
She is our queen. There's no doubt about that. Michael, thank you. You can find Michael and read his stuff at thevoicesf.org. He has musings about things that extend well beyond the world of streaming and theater entertainment.
Although the current column is about The Life of Chuck, a movie that is also very much worth seeing.
I'd love it. I love your writings. I think you're a great writer. All right. Michael?
This is a classic Mark Thompson time waster.
I don't think it should be hit as a time waster, Michael. I'm trying to promote your work.
Fine.
All right. You come and you go on a rainbow. Michael Snyder, the Culture Blaster, everybody.
See you next week, everybody.
Yeah, you are beloved. You are beloved by our audience.